You may get a little bit of a flashback here. This is actually from 1994, and if you want to get a lay of the land, healthcare reform was the big issue, and the chairman of the House Ways and Means Committee was resigning under pressure. Take a look.
Can you imagine the staff reporting to Sam Gibbons with Dan Rostenkowski there in the room? I mean, how does this all work out? How do you get anything done?
Well, the last question, you can get something done. The first part of the question, of course, is difficult and it's awkward to have a friend sitting there that used to sit at the head of the table and sitting there with a disability.
John, sound familiar to you at all?
Yeah, I mean, this is unbelievable. That was right after Rostenkowski had to step down as chairman of the committee, but stayed on the committee itself.
And hey, Charlie Rangel.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go. We're joined now by Lynn Sweet of the Chicago Sun-Times. Thank you, and also Politics Daily. Lynn, thanks for being here. And I want to start with palace intrigue, because you had an item in the Sun-Times over the weekend that talked about how President Obama hauled his senior advisors into his office and said, we got to cut this out. We got to cut this, these back-channel discussions and all the Washington parlor games that everyone likes to play here. How frustrating is it from the White House, and how real is this tension that we keep reading about?
Well, the tension is real, partly because of what you guys were just talking about before this segment, that health care did not go well. They haven't gotten it done yet. If NARA only gives it 75% chance, that's not great at this point. And as we speak, Obama's trying to rally, people outside the Beltway on it. So I think there's real tension. Stuff has not gone his way, and his ratings are very low. So then what happens? There's a blame game. Well, why is that, Jonathan? Why is that, Rick? And so people are going after the top advisors to figure this out. What Obama said in that Oval Office meeting, and this was when he came back from a day trip to Savannah, is he said, cut the intrigue.
Yeah, no drama Obama. It's pretty remarkable. And how much is the tension between Axelrod and Rahm?
I think none. I think that is just a made-up story.
Really?
These guys, they have known each other longer than they've known Obama. So they go back, and they will be friends after Obama finishes a presidency, whether it's 4 or 8 years, whatever happens to him. They might have a disagreement, but the point no one seems to get is you cannot drive a wedge between these guys. So could they disagree on the tactics to take on health care and some other issues? Yeah. Does it mean that there is some problem that means they can't work together? I don't think so.
We put the question out to our Twitter followers because I think a lot of this is reflected by people. It depends on your point of view as to who's to blame here. And we asked the question, who do you blame if healthcare goes down and for our current situation? One response we got back from Ben Daniels, I blame Axe. I don't know why Pluff wasn't kept on to do the job he did so well in 2008. And another response, this is from Carla Bond. We got this response from a lot of folks. Is Congress an option to blame? Really, I mean, that I think gets to a larger truth here, that as much as we talk about the palace intrigue, if this doesn't get done, it's going to reflect poorly on Congress in 2010.
Absolutely. Americans elect a president, not a king, if we're using the palace metaphor. During the campaign that was run so well, and by the way, to your viewer, Pluff did not do messaging. That's what David does. Pluff ran other parts of the campaign brilliantly, but this was always David Axelrod's department. You cannot just have a king who issues rules and orders for health care or closing Guantanamo. Congress has to get along. And maybe, that's what campaigns sometimes blur when you hear, I pledge to do this, I pledge to do that. A president can never, as a sole force, deliver. The problem here is that they squandered the time when they had the super Democratic majority and they were not going into the 2010 election season.
All right, I can't let you leave without asking you a question about the Senate race in Illinois. Where does it stand now? I mean, where do you see the likelihood that the Republicans can actually take back Barack Obama's Senate seat?
Well, I think Mark Kirk, who's the Republican nominee, member of Congress, has he starts us off as a running start. He didn't have much of a primary. Alexei Giannoulis, who's the state treasurer, while he has statewide name recognition, does have an issue over his family-owned troubled bank in Chicago. It's likely to fail in a few weeks. Last week he tried to do a preemptive strike and going out around to all the print and TV broadcast outlets in,
like Obama
in Chicago. Once, yeah. So I would say right now the Dems have a lot of work to do to keep the seat. It's a long time until November, and Chicago and Illinois campaigns always have twists and turns to them.
Dira gave us a number. Give us a number. What's the percentage chance that Republicans take it back?
I would say it's better than even.
Better than even. All right.
There you go.
Nail it down right there. Lynn Sweet from the Chicago Sun-Times and Politics Daily. Appreciate you being with us. Thank you.
Thank you.
That does it for this edition of Top Line. You can stay in touch all day long at twitter.com/The Note. I'm Rick Klein.
And I'm Jonathan Karl. Thanks for watching.
How'd your Oscars picks do, guys?
I think it's all right. Yeah, considering I hadn't seen most of the movies.